working. That's pretty darn good. Oh, what do we got? Well, after I got this big cowboy sucker box here for my birthday, the 2-player starter set for Dead Man's Hand, I've been going all Wild Westy, and I put in an order for Great Escape Games to get some more bits and bobs to kind of flesh out the town and stuff. See what kind of cool things we could come up with. So I got myself a wagon, and I got myself the 2-story building. Because the starter set comes with 3 single, 1-story buildings. You can't close that. You can't close that. What are you trying to do?
Sorry, I was trying to help.
Okay. Leslie comes in trying to close the door, but I've got tons of stuff on the door, so you can't close it. Anyway, where were we? So, yeah. So, the starter set comes with 2 single-story buildings. So I wanted to check out the 2-story building. One, because it'll give a nice difference in view. Hello, to the street once I put all the pieces out right. So it'll have a way different silhouette than the 1-story buildings. But also this one comes with some unique pieces that the single-story buildings don't come with. Namely a different roof, different sides here, this balcony thing, some steps, and a different frontage piece. So my plan is kind of to kit bash this with one of the 1-story buildings, and then we should wind up with something that is pretty unique for the 2, which is pretty cool. So I got this, and I also picked up a set of the duck boards, and they gave me a ruler, not a ruler, a bookmark, which is very cute. It's very cute. So I didn't know that the 2-story building box comes with a set of the duck boards in it, so I put in an order for one of those. And apparently when you order it, you actually get 2 sets of the sprues. So when you order just the duck boards, you actually wind up with 8 duck boards, which is really cool, because the starter box actually only comes with 1 of these sprues in it. So you get enough in the starter box for 1 connecting duck board and then 1 for each of the buildings. So this will be really nice. I'll be able to make duck boards kind of to go between the buildings, or to go to other pieces of terrain that aren't actual buildings and stuff. And these sprues are actually mega cheap, so I thought they would just be nice little bits of kit bashing. And also get additional things like more stairs, because even though you get 3 buildings in the starter box, you only get 2 sets of stairs because you only get 1 of these sprues. So I thought some more stairs would be nice. So that's these. We've looked at these before. We've clipped them all out and stuff. We'll probably do that. Probably be sealed parts of this as we get into the buildings. Alright, let's look at our wagon first, because when I do the building, I want to look at the other building, compare the pieces. So this is the general purpose wagon. There are actually 2 different wagons for Dead Man's Hand. This is the one with the extra sprues, because you don't only get the wagon, but you get the ribbed wagon for his pleasure, and then the wrapped up wagon as well. So basically you get not just the wagon, you get the people, the horses, and the tops to it. The other wagon, you get just the wagon. Now I've said the word wagon too many times and it sounds really weird. Alright, so let's see. So the regular wagon is just this sprue, and it just makes basically just the body and the hitch. That's pretty cool though. Lots of nice little detail in there. This wood grain, this sculpted wood grain they do, takes dry brushing wonderfully. I could not do as well a job with that as they do, which is really cool. And then this is the other sprue. You get So you get 2 horsies with this one, which is pretty cool. They don't have a ton of detail, the horsies don't. Horsies could definitely have more detail. But I still think they'll look pretty good once they're painted up. And then you get 2 different riders, so she can actually have 2 different heads there. I'm going to eventually turn her into an animal like all my other people, but... And then you can have 2 dudes. One's got like a Confederate style cap, and then one's got a big 10-gallon hat. So you can have people kind of driving the wagon as well, which is pretty cool. As well as some horsies. So it'll just be a neat little thing. I think it'll be a nice objective in games to, like, you know, take over the wagon, or get to the wagon before you're consumed by the evil darkness from the mine, or shit like that, you know. Like those kind of like nice objective kind of things, like, you know, be within 3 inches of the wagon to claim points or something. It's kind of gamey elements. Alright. Instructions are extremely detailed. Wow, okay. Man, there's as much writing on these instructions as there is in the rulebook. God damn. Nice. So what I'm actually planning on doing with these is actually throwing a magnet underneath the wagon bed, like up under there, and then having stowage, like barrels and stuff, that are kind of all glued together and magnetized, so I can pull them in and out if I want to. Alright. Over to the main man of our show today. Over to our 2-story building. This is a heavy freaking box. Like, there's a lot of screws in here. Alright, we got our instructions. We'll look at those in a minute. And then we have 1 loose baseboard. Just there. And then we have this side no, this is the front and back sprue. This also includes our doors and our silly things like the dog and stuff like that as well. So this is where we put like the front door, and this is our internal door. So when you do the single buildings, they'll also come with this sprue. So you'll be seeing this sprue a lot. Now this sprue is pretty cool, but there is one problem with it, and they chose to add these sidebars here to the fronts and the backs. If they had put those on the side, you'd actually be able to freely switch the front and the back. Now instead, you can freely switch the sides, but in truth, with the design of the sides, being able to freely switch the sides is kind of redundant. So if they had put these bars here on the front and the back instead, you'd actually be able to reverse where the door is, which would have been pretty cool. But yeah, so you get 2 of those because you're going to have essentially 2 buildings. And then we get a flat roof here. So this is the flat roof from the regular building. That's what this guy is. So the regular building is going to also have this sprue. And then we get our right and our left walls that can be interchanged for whatever way you want them to go. That's pretty cool. And this guy's a new sprue, so we'll look at that in a minute. And then we have our 2 baseboards here. So one of these is going to go into the roof, and then one of them is going to be each floor on each level. So that's why you have this free floating extra one. Really, they could have just given us this and given us the extra piece, but if I'm completely honest, there's no reason to have this extra piece anyway. Because without more walls and stuff, it doesn't really do anything, so. Alright. And then we have the duckboard sprue again that I totally didn't know coming in this box, or I wanted to bought the other ones. But now I just have more for kit bashing, so it's fine. Alright, and then we can get to one of the unique sprues for the two-decker building. So this is a side wall that features a door and 2 windows. So if we look at the other side wall, we can see it's got 2 windows too, but they're like super spaced out. And this one here's got the door on it. This is a cool piece. And what it's really going to be used for is going to give them a way to get in and out of the second story building if you didn't want to connect this up to the railings. So I've been looking at it. I think there's actually a way to connect this up to the front if you didn't want them to use this door. So, but that's what that is. This is one of the front railings. We have our side steps here. We've got the brackets for the side steps. We have that front balcony is right there, which is really cool. So our guys can stand out on that. And then we have half the roof, which is going to kind of go at an angle sort of like that. And then our other new sprue with this building is the other sides here, which is 3 windows. The other half of the roof, the 2 peaks for the roof, up and down, and then our frontage pack, which you can see right there. These poles here are for supporting the balcony. We've got another door. Disappointing thing about this door, I wish they would have used this as an opportunity to make a different door design, because right now all the doors in my Wild West town are going to look alike. Which is fine, but it would have been cool if they had done a different door here instead, because it would have been a good chance to have that kind of variation there. But yeah, so that's the double-decker building sprues. Now, it's pretty much a single-story building plus the extra sprues. So, right, so that's single-story building, this is single-story building. It's actually missing one of the single-story building sprues, though. So if you wanted to build a single-story building with the regular single-story roof, you actually can't do that from this sprue. I don't know why you would buy the double-decker building and then want to build one single-story building out of it, but just it's worth noting that you can't. Alright, so this guy here is going to look familiar. This is the roof and the floor sprue. And this guy will look familiar because this is our internal wall, front and back sprue. And then we have this guy, which is our sidewalls and the roof panel. Now the sprue that's missing from the double-decker building is this one here, which is the front canopy for the single building if you want to use it, and the frontage and the sides for the double-decker building, or for the single-decker building. So instead of this one, you get the one for the double-decker. This bigger boy right here. So instead of this half sprue, you get this bigger sprue, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. Now, I do think you are going to be able to mix and match these parts pretty well. Specifically the roofs, I think we're going to be able to mix and match. So it's kind of one of the things I wanted to do. I wanted to see if that worked. Because right now all the roofs have the same frontage on it. So if you were to take parts from this one and mix them with this one, you actually wind up with potentially 3 completely unique roofs. So I kind of wanted to mess with that today. I thought it would be fun to take a look at that. So, all right. Whoosh. So let's cut some of these guys out, and we'll try playing with the roofs, and then we'll maybe try playing with some of the unique bits for the double-decker. But yeah, it's really cool. I've been super enjoying building up Cowboy Town and just doing the whole like 5-0 Goes West kind of cowboy models. It's been very fun. It's also been a really nice use of a lot of the Frostgrave models. In general, the stuff from North Star Military Figures, because all the pieces are so interchangeable, you know, that you can grab a mini that's not intended to be a cowboy and basically throw a 6-shooter in his hand, and boom, now you have, like, you know, Russian immigrant, you know, or a Chinese immigrant who's here to work on the rail line kind of thing, really well. Or one of the ones I just made conversions out of is I just used the Frostgrave Barbarian sprue to make some, like, trappers / mounted men, because the barbarians, basically, as long as you don't give them, like, axes and shields, they could 100% be, like, crazy fur trappers in, like, Utah, because they're just covered in furs and they have big leather boots and pouches and stuff, and very, very easy to believe that's what they are. The cultists and the mage models also work really, really well, because I wanted, you know, I'm doing this, or I'm setting up to play this, and one of the options, one of the games I'm planning to use these models for is Vertwood, the Old West, which is kind of a fantasy horror kind of game, right? And I like original Vertwood a lot. The original Vertwood is a lot of fun. So the Old West one I thought would be pretty cool too. But it means that, like, I want stuff like cultists and, you know, like kind of Cthulhu horrors and that kind of stuff to go with my models, because I think that will give them a lot of cool variation and kind of fit the horror theme pretty well. Alright, here's the roof panels. So for the regular roof, these go like this and just kind of slide in like that. And then you put the roof piece on top of them. Now, once you get these in, this guy here goes on the front, kind of to, like, fill it in. This guy is not going to be the same way. This one actually looks like it has alternate pieces. So if I crack this open, we should be able to take a look at it, because I think you can actually build this one without the frontage on it. I think the frontage is optional on this one, which is pretty cool, because it means that you're going to get more options for roofs from this 2-story kit. So I'm just clipping it off all the sprue here, and then we'll play with it, because this big guy, I would really like this to be the frontage for my my, like, general store. So I'm hoping I can mix him into the other one. So if we were to, say, build this here with the side pieces, right? Could we put this guy on the front and have him work? Da-na-na-na! Yeah, we could. So that's 2 different versions of the roof right there we could make. So that's pretty cool. And then I think this guy is going to go here like that, and then these will go on the sides like this. Now I think that means that we have the option here of not putting a frontage piece, but if we wanted to, we could. So we could put this in here like this to hold that bit, which means we could build this without the big top on it, which is really cool. However, this should also mean that we can do, if I can get the damn thing to click in. It went in perfect the first time. Come on. Means we should be able to use this guy, yeah, for that roof as well. Okay, so that'll totally work. So it means that we're going to be able to make 3 different roofs out of this kit, which is pretty cool. Now, because I only have 2 pieces. Oh, it's because I put it on backwards, that's why. Because I only have 2 pieces from 2 roofs. We're only going to be able to make those 2. But I think we'll go ahead and do that because that will give my Wild West town some more variation. But yeah, see, this one can take that roof as well, which is really cool. Alright, so we need that other side piece. We need this flat piece as well. So let me go ahead and pull those out and we'll build these couple roofs. And then we'll keep building and see what else we got. Alright, as I punch the camera. Okay. So... Wait, I need one more side piece. There it is. So out of my Wild West town, I'm now going to have 4 buildings. And I think what I'm going to do is I have one that's like a sheriff. And I have one that's going to be a general store. And then I think this double-decker one is going to be the like saloon and whorehouse. And then the last building I think I'm going to use as a like a law office or like a mining company office, something like that. Some kind of like fancy office with like fancy furniture in it. Because I think that will make a fun setting piece. So then it'll be like, you know, someone abducted the mayor or something, you know. I think it'll be a fun setup when you're like making campaigns and stuff. Having a kind of like fancy office is a cool thing. I was also thinking about doing it as a barbershop, but I think while that creates a lot of fun modeling opportunities, a barbershop does, I don't think it has as many like gameplay uses. So I don't think I'll make my last building a barbershop. So I was also thinking about doing a post office, but I already have a general store. And since I have the general store, it kind of meets all the like gameplay ideas of what you would use a post office for, you know what I mean? So yeah, just really trying to think of like different stuff that would fit well for gameplay. More than just, I want to build more Wild West buildings because they're fun, you know what I mean? Stuff that like, if I were to do a little campaign for Verrewood Wild West or Dead Man's Hand, I would actually have like some terrain pieces that kind of make sense, you know, for the campaign. The kind of stuff that like, you know, you want your players to like be able to go to, you know. Like in my Fallout games, I specifically made a thing that can be my character's or my player's base, because that way eventually we'll be able to do like base assaults, and they'll have to like build different kind of like defenses and stuff before the assault happens. I think that's a pretty fun like gameplay setup. Alright, so we're going to put the little one on this, and that should give us 3 nice, completely different roof style from the other one. Should be pretty darn cool. Also, if I am shouting or being very, very quiet, I apologize. I actually can't hear a damn thing right now. But I was excited to work on these, so you get basically Deaf Josh as your host, because I want to play with my toys. Alright, so there we go. So that's the kind of pointed roof plus the small house front, and that works perfectly fine. Alright, and it will give you a different roof versus this one with the regular small house. So you're going to have a nice bit of difference there between the two. So that's pretty cool. And like we looked at, you can also build this without the frontage. So if you wanted to do that, it might be really neat for like a chapel or something. something more, or something like less store-like, I guess. That would be pretty cool for. All right, let's build the other roof. So this other one is going to be these guys here, and then this guy here in the front. Boop, boop, boop. Is that right? No. Is that right? Yes. So what I mean by right and wrong there is that these actually have a slight slant to them. One side does, so you want to make sure that the end piece is straight up and down so it can connect to your frontage correctly. Alright, there we go. Just like that. Alright, see if I put it in like this, see it'll be like crooked. We don't really want that. So we're going to put it in like this instead. Yeah, it's super exciting. I will say, I wish I would have got these from not Great Escape Games, because their shipping took forever. Which, I mean, you know, that's fine. But, and the shipping that took them a month, Mantic Games basically did the same shipping in like 7 days. So, you know, if you can get this stuff local, probably the better call, plus then you can support your local shops, but nowhere near me carries this stuff, unfortunately. Nobody carries cowboy stuff out here in Hawaii. But if you are on the mainland, there probably are stores that will carry it, so I would always recommend going there first. Alright, there we go. And now this guy here, he doesn't actually peg into this back wall here, it just kind of sits on top and just kind of glues on. So, just going to throw some glue on that. And we will have made ourselves a whole bunch of different roofs. Now I've seen all kinds of people do different, like, Wild West tables. With like different bits of terrain from like MDF to cardboard. I do have to say these Great Escape Games buildings are phenomenal. They're just so nice. And there we go. There's our frontage from the double-decker building mixed with the two-story building, so we can get some different roof styles for our town, which is pretty cool. So, out of the two kits, you'll be able to build those, and you would be able to build two other types. You'd be able to build this one here with the curve with that square front, and then this one here with the curve without a front at all. We just use that. So you got some options, which is pretty cool, and will add a nice bit of variety to your town. Now, some of the other new pieces also in the double-decker building also give some new options, such as these 3-story windows and the side door piece. So these are fully interchangeable with the other ones. So let me spin around so it's actually right side up. They're fully interchangeable, so if you wanted this door to be on a different side, you could do that. If you wanted like your second story to not have a door, you could do that. Or if you wanted it to not have windows, you could also do that. There's a lot of options there with how these are built. Because see, they tab in down here at the bottom, and then they tab into the fronts on the sides. Now, This does mean you can't really flip the fronts around, but it allows you to flip the sides around basically however you want. So, for example, if you wanted to, if I clip some stuff out, whoop. If you wanted to have a building that, say, had the three windows on one side here, and then you wanted there we go, like that, and you could put different pieces on each one. So there's a lot of variation there that you can do. So for these ones, I probably will actually use this and use the triple decker window for the lower level, because missing a sprue. There it is. I'm like, I'm missing walls. All right, but you could also say have a building entirely with no side walls if you wanted. So, say we wanted like a hermit building, or if we wanted to actually rank these buildings up and have them basically be right next to each other, where we might not want one of the buildings with walls. Like if we wanted to build one right next to this one, you could do that, like that, which is pretty cool, and it would work out. But in this case, for 2 buildings and 3 floors, I have 2 walls without windows, 1 wall with a door and 2 windows, 1 wall with 3 windows, and 2 walls with 2 windows. So 6 total walls, and 3 floors. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to click these floors out like this. What we're going to do is we're going to build ourselves up some buildings. Oop. Someone is blowing up my phone. Oh, let's see what we got. Okay, our 3 floors here. Boom, 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 just like that. All right, so what we're gonna do, this one here, it's gonna get this side wall, like that, and it's gonna get a back wall, like this. Okay, we know we want those. Well, okay, there we go. We know we want those. I also think I want to put one of the double windows on this side as well. So we know we're going to want that. That leaves me with 2 flat walls and 2 double windows. So I'm tempted to have one building with no windows, but I don't think I want to do that. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this triple window on this side, because if I put the door on this side like this, that means the steps are going to go up on this side, so I'm going to have that be a flat wall. I think that makes sense. Alright, let's cut some more bits out. There we go. And I need some more fronts. Now, annoyingly, all the doors are going to be on the same side, and I don't think that's avoidable. just with how these are built. I don't think there's any way to put the doors on the other side without some pretty hefty customization. And I don't know if that level of customization is worth the effort. So if you wanted to customize it, what you'd have to do is slice these pieces off, reverse it, glue it back on, or fill this in, sculpt that out, and then texture this. And I don't think either of those, because they're pretty hefty customization, I don't think either of those are really worth the value of having the door be on opposite sides. I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze there, to be honest. And this is coming from someone who put fake glass in his cowboy windows, okay? So, that should tell you something. Alright. Alright, let's get gluing. Let's see. So we'll do this guy first here. Now, because you can reverse these, if you wanted this on the other side, you could do that very easily. All right, there we go, just like that. Put this guy down here as well. And just see how nice and easy these buildings go together, right? No like crazy effort or pain in the tail or anything. They all just kind of slip together and it's great. And I can get glue to come out of the bottle. We can load this one up too. Go. All right. This will be my second story floor for my whorehouse. So my plan for this one is that the top, oh, excuse me while I fix my damn belt. Oh, cuz fat ass. Oh, all right. So the top story for this one is going to be like all fancy kind of like furniture, like a fancy bed and fancy chairs and lights, and it's going to be very posh, kind of like brothel kind of room. And then the lower level for this one is going to be the saloon, so like drinking tables and a bar, that kind of stuff. Yeah, there we go. Now I'm going to touch up some of the connections real quick. There we go. With a little bit of more glue. Just to make sure the little seams there are sealed and got glue in them, that's all. There we go. All right, so that's going to be the first floor, or the top floor for the double decker. And then we're going to have double window, triple window door as well. And we'll just start loading this one up too. Go. This guy's going to get sidewall. Now the thing with these sidewalls to be aware of is that the paneling goes a specific direction. So you can kind of see the tooths going down there. That's the specific direction it needs to go. Sorry, I'm kind of probably all over the screen today. There we go. And then we'll put this last guy here in. That's going to be our triple window. There we go. And last but not least, we got our back wall. Now, the neat thing with these is that the floor for this one is going to be the roof for the next one. So when we pull it off, it's not going to be a situation where we need to pull off the floor and then pull off the roof. It's all just going to come off as one, which is pretty sweet. Then we'll go and we'll fill in the gaps just to make sure, just like that. Now, the next step for these, I've kind of already done on the channel, and that's to make them a hardboard base and then just start detailing them. So the hardboard base is that kind of stuff that's on the back of the legal pad. It's kind of like really thick cardboard. And I've done this on the channel already, so I've got that video up. And what that'll do is it'll give it just a nice base so that, one, I can get a little dirt, a little bit of plants, and you know, a little bit of scatter terrain and stuff around it to make it look more like a building, which is really nice and adds a lot of like character and stuff. So, for example, if you look at this sprue, the duckboard sprue, you get these really cool horse tie-ups. You're never going to put these on the board by themselves. They're just not. Like 100% you're not going to do it. But if you put them on a base and then put the building on the base too, you wind up with this really nice kind of cinematic thing with all these little bits of accoutrements and stuff, which is really cool. Oh, that's why I ended up basing mine. Alright, there she goes. Alright. Our whorehouse connects to the top of the brothel. And then we have our special roof that goes on top. There she goes. Da-na-na-na. Pretty darn cool. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. And then if we look at some of these, what we're going to wind up with is some side stairs here. Now these, I'm going to be totally honest, you are going to be able to glue these to this top level. So if you wanted to pick it off and have it go with it, but that's going to be a big pain in the tail because then you're not going to be able to set this level down flat. So what I would really recommend you do with these is actually glue them to the lower level. So basically down below the fold like that, because then you can pick it off without having to pick off the stairs as well. So once you put your duck boards on the side, I would highly recommend you glue it down to the building on the lower level and not to the top level, because otherwise if it goes with the top level, you're never going to be able to set the level down. You need some sexy ladies. Okay. But yeah, so that's pretty sweet. Also be aware that this probably should sit on top of duck boards. It doesn't have to, but it probably should. So just be aware of that. So it might be a situation where you're actually gluing the sides here down and not actually the top. So what might end up actually happening is something like that, where it ends up sitting a little bit higher. So just keep that in mind with how you attach it, because I've actually seen people build these and they've had to cut down the stakes on the front because they built them like this without the duck board. And it would really suck if you built it like that and then really you basically had to cut a step out of the damn thing because you forgot to account for the height of the duck board. Now the duckboards can kind of attach however you want, but just be aware that they do affect that kind of height stuff. So, for example, if we were to put one here, right, we can see that it lifts that up and makes it look really nice. Like that looks boss, right? But it does mean that I'm not going to be gluing the top piece there. I'm going to be gluing here the side, these like side tines here instead, so that I'll be able to lift the roof on and off, which is pretty darn cool. Yeah, so that's pretty sweet. Now the front balcony, let's take a look at that too, since that's a new piece. So that is, hold on, let me see what that is. This piece I think holds the steps up, but let's double check, make sure I'm right. I think there's also a thing where you could put this together and not use this side room, not use the side with the door, and instead have the balcony connect up to the steps. I think that's doable as well if you wanted a different design for your house. So we're gonna, ooh, that has a really tiny thin bend in it, and I legit almost just snapped that in half. So yeah, be careful with that. Be careful with that piece. Without even thinking, I almost broke that in half. Jesus. Okay, where are the other? Here they are. So it looks like we get ones that are pretty similar. Wait, no, this is the other roof. Where is this roof then? Got this guy. I got that guy, that guy. Ah, there they are. So they're on this sprue with the door. So these, yeah, these definitely have a different design to them than the ones that hold up the regular little roof. So that's that versus that, if you wanted to see it. Now, your Wild West buildings don't have to have duckboards, which is one of the reasons why these models don't have like places for the duckboards, if that makes sense. Like there's not a place for the duckboards to like click in, and it's because your models don't have to have them. So if you wanted like little house on the prairie kind of buildings versus like Wild West town, you could do that with these as well. Not that I think that's a very popular wargaming like theme, little house on the prairie, but it's the same kind of buildings, you know? So what this is going to look like is we're going to have our duckboards there in the front, and duckboards here on the side, like that. Oh wait, no, that isn't a duckboard. That's the roof. Derp. On the duckboard sprue, you do get two different lengths of duckboards, so be aware of that. Even though at a quick glance they look the same, they're actually not. One is actually like 2 or 3 boards longer. So this is one of the short ones. So there's our short one. And short ones pretty much just cover the front like that. The long ones go a little bit further down the side. So if we do that, these guys here connect up to this. We can actually glue that on now while we're looking at it. Nothing wrong with that. Come on. There we go. It'll also keep me from damn near snapping it, which is good. Now keep in mind, if these go on slightly crooked, it's not the end of the world, because you're building a town that's like probably built by people that are half like drunk off their ass, or it's made with shit they found locally that's probably terrible. So the wood's a little warped. Not a big surprise for this setting, I guess, is what I'm saying. Most of these towns, I think, are kind of gone these days. I don't think many of them are still around. Even the ones that they've tried to like preserve for posterity, I think are pretty much trash. So, all right, so there we go. That's how she'll go, just like that. And once again, we want to make sure that we don't attach that to the upper level. We want to make sure it gets attached to the lower level. All right. So if you sit like this, and then you sit like that. Oh yeah. Oh, that's fucking good. You could 100% have this go up to the balcony instead. Just like that. That would be amazing. That's really good. So if you didn't want to use that side door there on the side, you want to put it somewhere else, you could totally do that. Look at that. Yeah, that's great. That works really, really good. Yeah, you could totally do that. Now I am going to have mine go back here instead. And it looks like this goes like this. Oh, these are actually keyed to specific sides. Look at that. Yeah, see, it's actually keyed to a specific side. Alright, so we can actually glue that on too. See, the other side here has these like little indents on it. There we go. Boop, boop, boop. Did I? Didn't put it in there on the roof. Alright. There we go. So that's one side. We can do the other side really quick. Oh. There we go. All right. So yeah, man, this double-decker building comes with some cool pieces that the regular ones don't, like these stairs and stuff. But yeah, I think 4 buildings for my Wild West town is probably good. The big things I want to add to my Wild West town after this, I want to do like a mine, like maybe like a little bit of a, you know, like boards and rocks and stuff. Looks like an entrance down into a mine. I think that would be really cool. And I think it would be a nice like gameplay piece to be like, you know, the evil's coming from the mine or whatever. Oh, well that's a poopy, isn't it? Look at that. How are we going to solve that?
Mind if I take your car?
Huh?
Mind if I take your car so I don't need to shuffle?
Oh, yeah, sure. Are you picking Joe up? Oh, damn, already?
It's 3.
Oh, shit. Okay, I have no track of time at all today. But I need there to not be a gap. So what I'm wondering is if 2 of the small duckboards, if I put them on the side, if they actually don't produce a gap. So let's check it out. Because the long duckboard, if you put it on the front, it doesn't actually make a complete like seal connecting up to the side duckboards. I'll show you that in a sec. So this is the long duckboard. This is the short one. See? You put it on the side, it only hangs over by like 3 boards, which is definitely not enough to make that full set there. But if we put 2 of these on the side, what do we get? Way too much. That's what we get. Way too much. Interesting. Okay. Well, it looks like we're going to have to cut one of these duckboards down to get it to fit. Because like this is basically what we want, is this right here, where we have the full duckboards on the side with the steps and the full duckboards on the front. So we're gonna have to cut one of these down, which is fine. Just have to figure out which one's best to cut down. Because that one, I think this one will work perfect. Because there's little different steps on the bottom of each duck board. And if we slice this one right here up to the second step, I think it should work perfect. Yeah. That should be like literally perfect for it to light up. Yeah, I think that's really good. So yeah, so that's going to be pretty much our Wild West double-decker building. The only thing that I didn't do is I didn't put the railings and stuff on this piece here. But yeah, really cool building. What's good, Pookie? I don't know, dude. I don't know. Wild West buildings are good. They're really nice. They're pretty sweet. They're very interchangeable with the double decker building is very interchangeable with the single decker building, which is pretty cool. And it's got a bunch of new cool options. And we can build a pretty dope little cowboy building out of it. But I'm going to go ahead and call it there. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good one, and maybe I will work on painting some of these up this weekend, maybe. I have to ask my group if we're playing Fallout or not. But we do also have a Memorial Day coming up as well. So maybe we'll do some World War II stuff for that. I don't know yet. But I'm going to call it there. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good one.